Information manipulation involves using facts, statistics, or expert opinions in misleading ways to support predetermined conclusions rather than following evidence to reasonable conclusions. It differs from simple disagreement about complex issues because it involves deliberate distortion of evidence or misrepresentation of sources. Cherry-picking data while ignoring context involves selecting only information that supports their position whilst ignoring relevant data that complicates or contradicts their claims. Someone might cite employment statistics from 1 month while ignoring longer-term trends, or quote crime data from one area while ignoring broader patterns. Citing questionable sources as if they're authoritative means presenting information from biased, discredited, or non-expert sources using language that suggests they're credible authorities. They might reference advocacy organizations, political groups, or unqualified commentators using phrases like studies show or experts agree, without acknowledging the limitations of these sources. Overwhelming with information to prevent analysis involves presenting so much data, so many sources, or such complex arguments that you can't possibly evaluate everything carefully in the context of a conversation. This creates an appearance of thorough research whilst making genuine scrutiny impossible. Misrepresenting expert opinions or consensus includes claiming that individual experts represent broader scientific or professional consensus, cherry-picking quotes out of context, or presenting fringe views as if they have equal standing with mainstream expert opinion. Creating false equivalence between reliable and unreliable sources involves treating all sources as equally credible regardless of their methodology, track record, or expertise. Someone might present a peer-reviewed study and a blog post as if they carry equal weight. Evaluating information critically requires developing habits of inquiry that help you assess claims without becoming paralyzed by skepticism or overwhelmed by complexity. Check sources and methodology behind claims by asking, who conducted the research? How do they do it? Who funded it? And what are the limitations the researchers themselves acknowledged? Look for context and alternative interpretations by considering whether the information presented tells the complete story or whether other factors might explain the same data differently. Single statistics or studies rarely provide complete pictures of complex issues. Consider whether information supports the conclusions claimed by evaluating whether the evidence actually demonstrates what someone claims it shows. Data might be accurate whilst the interpretation or implications drawn from it are questionable. Ask about potential cherry picking or selection bias when someone presents information that seems too clean or too convenient. Real-world data is usually messy and complex, so be cautious of claims supported only by perfectly aligned evidence. Distinguish between correlation and causation, because many manipulation tactics involve presenting correlations, which are things that happen at the same time, as if they prove a causal relationship. Just because two trends occur together doesn't mean one causes the other. You might respond to questionable information by saying, "That's interesting data. Can you help me understand how it was collected and whether there might be other explanations for these patterns?" This shows engagement whilst requesting the context needed for proper evaluation. So the goal isn't to reject all information that seems complicated or to demand impossible standards or proof on the spot, but rather to maintain appropriate skepticism about claims that seem designed more to persuade than to inform.